Girl's heartwarming claim of her mom in the FBI was mocked until one incredible truth was revealed. Lily sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, scribbling furiously in her notebook. Her vivid imagination transformed the dull suburban life of Maplewood into a world of espionage. My mom isn't just a regular community center director, she declared proudly in her daydreams. She's an undercover FBI agent, battling crime and saving the day. Whenever she shared her tales, her classmates erupted in laughter, their mockery washing over her like a cold rain. But it never broke her spirit. Lily had the unshakable belief that her mother was a hero, the unrecognized champion of justice roving through their cozy neighborhood. Her mom, a tireless single parent, worked day and night, slipping into their small house with the warmth that made every corner feel like home. Money was tight, but love filled the gaps. Lily loved their rituals, cooking together, sharing stories at the dinner table, the way her mother's eyes glistened while recounting tough days. It was the kind of bond she envied, the kind that felt worth more than silver or gold. But life in Maplewood was not as idyllic as it seemed. Rumors began to gnaw at their peace. Strange faces were spotted lurking in the shadows of the schoolyard. Her friends' smiles faded as whispers about a drug ring crept into their conversations. Lily's heart raced with fear as she watched her classmates drift apart, the light in their eyes dimming. Panic settled in like an unwanted guest, and she desperately wanted to confide in her mom. Yet, a coldness emanating from her mother raised a wall between them, sending a dull ache through Lily's chest. A chance encounter at the local diner shattered her illusions. Lily overheard two strangers discussing the agent cleaning the town, their voices hushed with urgency. A wave of realization crashed over her. It was as if her fantasy was blurring with a grim reality. Could her mother actually be involved in something dangerous? Just the thought sent a mixture of pride and doubt swirling within her. How could her hero lead a double life? The flickering neon of the diner buzzed around her, heightening the urgency of her thoughts. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Lily tried to confront her classmates about the incidents at school, their laughter rang hollow. Your mom working at the community center? An agent? That's rich! They scoffed between snorts. But something had shifted in Lily. She stood tall, her fists clenched. She may not wear a badge, but she's braver than any of you know. Her voice echoed, cracking the tension that filled the air. But just as she was about to demand answers from her mother, a confrontation looming on the horizon. Distant sirens wailed, slicing through the evening stillness. What if the truth behind her fantasy was darker than she could ever imagine? The reality could shatter everything she believed. Lily felt the ground beneath her shake, her heart racing as shadows loomed over their safe suburb. Would she find the strength to uncover what lay hidden, or would it envelop her in silence? Lily's heart thundered in her chest as the sirens drew closer. She sneaked a glance out her bedroom window, fingers trembling against the glass as the flashing lights pierced the quiet night. The streets that had always seemed so safe now felt foreign and threatening. Something was happening out there, something that might involve her mother. "Mom!" she called out, scrambling to her feet. She rushed to the living room, her mind racing with questions. Was her mom in danger? What would happen if the rumors were true? Her breath hitched as she imagined scenarios: her mom in a perilous situation, fighting off danger while Lily cowered at home, utterly helpless. Her mother emerged from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a dish towel, an expression of concern etched across her face. "Lily? What's wrong?" There was a flicker of worry in her eyes, and for a moment, it felt like the protective barrier that surrounded them had all but disappeared. "The sirens. Is something happening? Are you okay?" The words tumbled out in a rush, desperation creeping in. Her mother paused, and a shadow crossed her features. I need you to stay calm. I'll explain everything soon. You know you can trust me, right? Lily nodded, but inside uncertainty churned. Trust was easy, but the truth felt heavy and elusive. She watched as her mom grabbed her jacket and moved towards the door. I need to check something, she said, her voice steady but distant. What do you mean check something? Where are you going? Anxiety curled around Lily's heart like a vine, squeezing tighter. Just stay inside. I'll be back, her mother replied, her tone leaving no room for argument. The door clicked shut behind her, leaving Lily in taut silence. As the minutes slipped away like grains of sand, panic began to rise like a tide. She paced back and forth, glancing at the clock, every tick amplifying her fears. Her mom had never left her on her own like this, not without an explanation. Why was tonight different? Suddenly, her notebook caught her eye, pages filled with stories of heroes and villains, worlds where her imagination ran wild. But this wasn't a tale. It was her life, and the lines of fantasy and reality were merging into something dark. Determined, Lily grabbed her phone and sent a quick text to her best friend, Zoe. Something's off with my mom. Can you come over? She pressed send, hoping for the comfort of familiarity. A few minutes later, the sound of a gentle knock at the door broke her frantic spirals. Lily? Zoe's voice called from the other side. Let me in. Relief washed over her as she opened the door. Thank goodness you're here. I need to know if you've heard anything. Zoe stepped in, an eyebrow raised. Heard what? About the sirens. And Lily hesitated, staring into her friend's eyes, searching for understanding. About my mom. Zoe frowned, concern settling in her features. Your mom's still working at the community center? Yeah, but I think there's more to it. I overheard something at the diner today, Lily blurted, her words tumbling out. I think she might be involved with something dangerous. Zoe blinked, processing Lily's revelation. We need to find out what's going on. With resolve igniting within her, Lily nodded. Together. She felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this was the moment to unravel the truth, no matter how terrifying it was. Then, before they could make a plan, the phone buzzed in Lily's pocket. Her mom's text trail appeared on the screen, stay inside. It's crucial. Chills ran down her spine, and dread swelled in her chest. What was so vital that her mother couldn't explain? They needed answers. And as Lily looked into Zoe's determined gaze, she knew they were stepping into a world where secrets thrived. It might change everything she knew about her life, the girl whose mom could be a hero or a mystery wrapped in danger. Let us go, Lily said, her pulse quickening. They needed to uncover the truth, whatever it was. Would they be ready for what they might find? The night air felt thick as Lily and Zoe stepped outside, a sense of urgency pulling them forward. The sirens had faded, leaving a haunting echo of anxiety in their chests. Shadows danced in the flickering streetlights, casting eerie shapes across their path. They walked quickly, heading towards the community center where Lily's mom worked. What do you think is really going on? Zoe asked, glancing over at Lily. Her friend's face was drawn tight with worry, and it made Lily's heart ache. I don't know. But something is wrong, Lily replied, her voice barely above a whisper. It's not just the sirens. It's the way she acted when she left. Like there was something she couldn't tell me. As they approached the community center, the familiar structure loomed ahead like a fortress, its windows dark and still. Lily's stomach churned. This place was usually filled with laughter and chatter, but tonight it felt cold and deserted. Should we go in? Zoe asked, uncertainty hanging in the air between them. Lily took a deep breath. We have to. I can't just wait any longer. They slipped through the side entrance, the door creaking as they entered. Inside was dimly lit, but echoes of the community's warmth lingered in the walls. Lily's heart raced as the two girls moved deeper into the shadows, their footsteps muffled against the worn tiles. Is that? Zoe stopped suddenly, her eyes wide. Ahead of them was a light, flickering in the meeting room. It was barely visible, but it was enough to ignite hope in Lily's chest. Let us check it out, Lily whispered, her pulse quickening once more. Together, they crept toward the door, pressing against the cool wood to listen. Muffled voices trickled through. Need eyes on the ground tonight. We can't afford to miss anything. Of course, we can't trust anyone else. We can't let the wrong people know. Lily felt the words seep into her skin, coating her with confusion and fear. What was happening? Who were they talking about? Zoe turned to Lily, her expression a mix of concern and determination. Should we go in? They might know something about your mom. Lily hesitated, the storm of emotion swirling inside her. But before she could decide, footsteps echoed down the hall. Hide! She hissed, grabbing Zoe's arm as they darted behind a nearby set of lockers. Heart pounding, Lily pressed her back against the cool metal, straining to hear what was unfolding just a few feet away. A man and a woman rounded the corner, their voices low but heated. If we don't act fast, the whole operation could be compromised, the woman insisted, her tone sharp like a knife. Let us just hope she stays safe. If they find her. The man trailed off, leaving a chilling silence in his wake. Lily's breath caught in her throat. They were talking about her mom, and an icy realization hit her. What kind of trouble was her mother in? Tears stung her eyes, but she forced herself to stay calm. Did you hear that? Zoe whispered, her voice barely audible. Lily nodded slowly, her mind racing. Her mom wasn't just a community center worker. She was involved in something significant, dangerous even. Suddenly, the locker doors shifted slightly, revealing just enough of a gap for Lily to peer through. The man and woman moved closer as they argued, oblivious to the young girls lurking just steps away. We can't let her go alone. We need to put her in a safe location, the woman said, her resolve firm. Lily's heart raced even faster. Was her mom in hiding? Why hadn't she said anything? Filled with a mixture of terror and determination, Lily knew they needed to act. We can't just stay here, she said to Zoe, her voice steady now. We have to find her. We need to protect her. Where do we even start? Zoe asked, fear shadowing her eyes. Lily took a deep breath, confidence surging within her. Let us head to her office. There might be clues there. But we have to hurry before they notice we're gone. With a final glance back, they dashed through the darkened halls, the weight of impending secrets pressing down on them. One thing was certain, the truth was closer than they imagined. What else could they uncover in this web of shadows? The hallway stretched like a tunnel into the unknown. Each step echoed with a mixture of fear and resolve as Lily and Zoe darted toward the office. The flickering overhead lights cast a shaky glow that only heightened their anxiety. Do you think they'll find us? Zoe whispered, glancing back as if expecting someone to materialize from the darkness. No, Lily replied, more to convince herself than her friend. We're fine. Just keep moving. They reached the office door, and Lily paused, her pulse racing. She turned the knob slowly, afraid of what they might find inside. The door creaked open, revealing a small room cluttered with papers and old posters, remnants of community programs. The familiar smell of coffee and old books enveloped them, but it did little to ease the tension in the air. What are we looking for? Zoe asked, her voice shaky with nerves. Anything that might explain what is going on, Lily said, her eyes scanning the mess. She rushed over to the desk, flipping through folders stacked haphazardly. Names and dates slid by as she searched for anything that would shed light on her mother's secretive activities. Lily's hand brushed against an envelope buried beneath the clutter. It felt heavier than the others, and her breath caught as she pulled it out. The envelope was sealed, marked with a prominent, confidential label. Lily, what did you find? Zoe leaned closer, her curiosity piqued. I don't know yet. Lily tore the envelope open with shaking fingers. Inside, she found several documents, and a photo, one that made her stomach drop. The image showed her mother standing with several serious-looking people, all wearing badges. FBI badges. The FBI? Zoe gasped, her wide eyes mirroring Lily's shock. Your mom is she really? I think so. They both stared at the photograph, trying to process this new reality. Of course, there had always been whispers of her mother's late nights, texts that Lily never understood, but this? This was a whole new level. Why didn't she tell us? Zoe wondered, a touch of sadness creeping into her voice. Maybe to protect us. Or maybe she was just scared, Lily murmured, her heart heavy with the weight of the truth. But she's in danger. We have to help her. Lily rifled through the documents, her hands moving quickly. There were details about meetings with local leaders, reports on suspicious activity, and names that meant nothing to her. But then one particular file caught her eye, a dossier labeled as a threat assessment. Zoe, look at this, she said, holding it up. The paper was filled with names and descriptions that seemed to detail people involved in something shady, a criminal network, perhaps. This has to be related to whatever trouble she's in. Zoe leaned over, concern etched across her face as she scanned the paper. What do we do now? If these people are involved, we can't just tell someone. It might put your mom at greater risk. We have to find her, Lily insisted, a fierce determination igniting in her chest. She's the only one who can explain what's really going on. If we can just get to her before they do, a sudden noise from outside the office door made them freeze. Footsteps. Distant but purposeful. Someone's coming. Zoe hissed, eyes darting around for a hiding place. They can't see us here, Lily whispered urgently, shoving the contents of the envelope under her shirt for safekeeping. We need to hide. In a panic, they crouched behind the desk, heartbeats racing, listening as the footsteps drew nearer and the door handle turned. What if it was someone looking for her mother? What if it was someone who meant her harm? As the door swung open, both girls held their breath, eyes wide with fear. Would they be discovered, or could they find a way to escape and save Lily's mom in time? The door creaked open, and a shadow fell across the room. For a split second, time froze as Lily and Zoe held their breath, praying that whoever entered wouldn't look their way. Check everywhere, a voice commanded, low and menacing. It was one of the men from the photo, one of the FBI agents, or at least someone who seemed official. Lily felt her heart pounding in her throat, a wildfire of panic threatening to consume her. Zoe's fingers gripped her arm tightly, her eyes round with fear. What if they see us? She mouthed silently. Just stay quiet, Lily whispered back, her mind racing. She felt the sharp edge of the envelope against her skin, a small comfort, a reminder of why they were here. The agent stepped inside, scanning the room with a meticulous gaze. There was something calculated about the way he moved. As he turned slightly, Lily caught a glimpse of his badge clipped to his belt. It felt surreal. Was this really happening? Check the drawers, too, he ordered another figure who had just entered the room, a young woman with determined eyes. Together, they began sifting through the chaos on the desk. Lily and Zoe exchanged frantic glances. They couldn't stay here anymore. They had to do something. Just when she thought it was over, Lily noticed a window just above the cluttered desk. It was small, but maybe they could fit through if they were careful. Zoe, the window! Lily whispered excitedly, nodding toward the escape route. Zoe's eyes widened. Are you sure? It's our only chance. With a cautious nod, Zoe followed Lily's lead. They quietly slipped away from the desk, trying to keep low and out of sight. Every sound around them felt amplified, a page crinkling, footsteps shuffling. They reached the window, and with trembling hands, Lily began to unfasten it, the hinges protesting with a soft squeak. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She didn't want to make a sound. The agent's voice suddenly boomed. I want every inch of this place searched. Don't you dare miss anything. Lily's heart dropped, and she glanced back at Zoe. We need to hurry. Just then, a crash echoed in the room as one of the agents knocked over a stack of papers. They turned toward the noise, distracted. The moment hung like a heavy fog, offering them the briefest glimmer of hope. Lily pushed the window open, her pulse racing with urgency. Go! She urged Zoe, her eyes darting back toward the agents now focused elsewhere. Zoe squeezed through first, and as soon as she was out, Lily followed. Fresh air hit her, tinged with the scent of damp earth and freedom. They landed on a narrow ledge that wrapped around the building, and all Lily could think was that they needed to get somewhere safe, and fast. They were a few feet from the ground, and below, the alley was dark and seemingly empty. "Jump," Zoe whispered nervously, gripping the brick wall. Before Lily could argue, she shoved off and landed safely on the ground. Relief coursed through her veins as she turned back to help Zoe, who was still hesitating. "Come on, Zoe! Now!" With a quick push, Zoe jumped and landed beside her. They looked at each other, breathless and exhilarated, but the adrenaline quickly turned into dread. "What now?" Zoe asked, scanning the darkened street as if danger could pop up around any corner. Lily pulled the documents from under her shirt. "They must have answers. We find my mom." "I won't let her face this alone, not anymore," she said, determination replacing fear. As they slipped into the shadows, Lily felt a new urgency. They couldn't waste a second. But looming questions piled in her mind. What were they up against? And would they reach her mom before it was too late? The night was just beginning, and with each step they took, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change, whether they were ready for it or not. The alley was thick with darkness, and the smell of rain-soaked pavement wafted up around them. Lily felt the envelope tucked securely beneath her shirt as they hurried away from the building. It felt like a shield, protecting her from all the unknowns stretching out before them. "Which way?" Zoe whispered urgently, glancing nervously over her shoulder. Lily squinted into the haziness of the night. "We need to head toward the park," she said, trying to keep her voice calm even though her heart was racing. "Mom usually walks there when she needs to think." The streets were eerily quiet, the occasional distant car cutting through the silence only added to their tension. With every step, anxiety clung to them like wet clothes. Each shadow held the potential for danger, and every sound made them jump. "Do you really think they're after your mom?" Zoe asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know," Lily's voice faltered. The weight of uncertainty pushed down on her. "But she's in trouble, and I can't let them take her." As they rounded a corner, the park came into view. The soft glow of streetlights illuminated the winding paths, but the trees stood tall and menacing, casting long shadows on the ground. "Lily, are you sure this is the right place?" Zoe hesitated, biting her lip. "It has to be," Lily replied fiercely, though doubt scratched at her confidence. The last thing she wanted was to lead them into a trap. Yet the determination to find her mother, as if it was etched in her heart, pushed her forward. They stepped into the park, weaving through the paths amidst the trees. The quiet was almost suffocating, and Lily could hear her heart pounding in her ears. She glanced at Zoe, who looked equally scared but resolute. "Over there." Lily pointed to a familiar bench nestled between two large oaks, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. "She's always there when she needs to think." As they approached, dread pooled in Lily's stomach. What if her mother was already gone? What if they were too late? "Mom?" Lily called out softly, her voice faltering. The darkness surrounding the bench seemed to thicken, and panic clawed at her throat. Zoe reached for her arm, urging her to take a breath. Just then, a figure stepped out from behind the tree, a woman wrapped in a long coat, her auburn hair catching the faint light. Lily's breath caught in her throat as she recognized her mother. "Mom!" Lily burst forward, relief washing over her. But as she got closer, she froze. The look on her mother's face was one of fear, and she quickly grabbed Lily's shoulders. "What are you doing here, Lily? You need to go." Zoe stepped back, confusion spreading across her features. "What do you mean?" "We just came to find you." "No," her mother said urgently, scanning the area around them. "You have to listen. They're close. You need to run." But Lily stammered, not understanding. "Lily, please," her mother's voice softened, a deep worry etched in her brow. "I didn't want you involved in any of this. I thought I could keep you safe." Fear started creeping again. "What do you mean? What's going on? Why didn't you tell me?" "I thought it would be better if you didn't know," her mother replied, her voice almost breaking. "But there are things happening you don't understand. Dangerous things." Before Lily could process this, The soft sound of footsteps approached, almost too quiet to hear. Her mother's grip tightened. "Lily!" a voice called from behind. "We know you're here." Panic surged within Lily. What were they supposed to do now? The shadows were closing in. "Mom, please! We can face this together." But uncertainty pulled in her heart. Would they be strong enough? Then, as the footsteps got closer, Lily felt that familiar surge of determination again. There had to be something, some way out. "Stay close to me," Lily urged, her mind sharpening with a single thought. They had to escape, no matter the cost. With her mother's worried eyes on her, she scanned the surroundings for an exit while the air thickened with an all-consuming dread. Would they find a way to escape? Or was it too late? The crunch of gravel echoed in the stillness, the source of the sound growing louder as shadows danced between the trees. Lily felt her heart race faster, each beat drumming a desperate rhythm against her ribs. She could see her mother's pulse quicken too, their shared panic hanging thick in the air. "Mom, we can't just leave," Lily pleaded, her voice barely above a whisper. The figure in the dark called again, a menacing echo of their approach. "You can't hide forever, Lily. We know you're here." Her mother's eyes, usually so warm and reassuring, were now wide with fear. "Lily, listen to me. If they find you, but I'm not leaving you," Lily insisted, desperation spilling over. She felt a surge of courage mixed with the fear. "I want to run away. Not without you." Zoe stood frozen, her hands balled into tight fists. "Lily, your mom is right. We have to go, now." "No, we need a plan. There must be a way to stop them." It felt like there was a fire igniting within Lily, fiercer than her fear, pushing her to confront this darkness that threatened to swallow them whole. Lily stepped toward the tree line, scanning the shadows. The fog began to lift. She could make out shapes men. There were two of them, moving through the park with a purpose that sent chills racing down her spine. "Mom," Lily said, her voice steadying as thoughts raced through her mind. "What do they want?" Her mother hesitated, pain flickering through her expression. "They want the information, Lily. The papers in the envelope. It's not just about me, it's about a much bigger problem." Lily's fingers instinctively grasped the envelope beneath her shirt. The protection it offered felt heavier now. Could it really hold the key to their survival? "Why didn't you say anything?" Lily's voice cracked, the betrayal biting deep. "You let me walk into this blind. They would have found you anyway." "They're ruthless," her mother said, urgency twisting her features. "I won't let them hurt you. Please take Zoe and run." "Running isn't the answer," Lily shot back, her eyes burning with defiance. "I'm not scared of them. Not when you're in danger." The tension thickened the air, turning the surroundings into a suffocating blanket. Both her mother and Zoe exchanged an uneasy glance, but for Lily, the fear was eclipsed by a surge of resilience. "Maybe we can outsmart them," she said, her mind racing with possibilities. "What do you mean?" Zoe asked, her eyes wide as the men continued to close in. "If they're after us, we need to draw them away," Lily said, rallying her thoughts into a coherent plan. "We'll lead them on a chase, then slip away in the confusion." "Are you crazy?" Zoe gasped. "No, just desperate," Lily replied, her pulse pounding. "It's now or never." Her mother stepped forward, her expression softening. "Lily, it's too dangerous, no, it's time we take control," Lily insisted, finding her voice. "We're not victims. We're stronger than that." Lily took a deep breath. "On the count of 3 we run, not away from them, but toward the edge of the park. This way," she gestured, her instincts kicking into overdrive. "We'll split up. They won't know which way to turn." "It's too risky," her mother hesitated, fear etching lines on her face. "It's the only way," Lily said, firm in her determination. "We have to trust each other." As the footsteps drew closer, Lily's heart raced with a blend of terror and adrenaline. "Okay, let us do this," she declared. 1, 2, 3. The world erupted into chaos as they burst into motion, running not just for their lives, but for their freedom against the web of fear closing in around them. But even as they darted, side glancing at one another, a thought loomed large in Lily's mind. Would they be fast enough? Or would this choice seal their fate? Questions lingered in the air like an unshakable fog. What awaited them in the shadows ahead? Would their bravery lead to safety or peril? They sprinted across the gravel, the sound of their hurried footsteps blending with the echoes of their breaths. The darkness felt alive around them, shadows leaping and twisting as the unknown drew closer. The men's voices neared, taunting, chilling. "Keep moving," Lily urged, adrenaline pushing her faster. She glanced back, noting the dark figures coming into clearer view. One of the men was tall, heavily built, and the other was leaner but equally menacing. There was a fierce determination in their stride, unwavering. "Left!" Zoe shouted, pointing toward a cluster of trees. "That way! Quick!" They turned, dodging the branches that reached out like claws. Lily could feel the weight of the envelope beneath her shirt, a reminder of what was at stake. It felt like a ticking time bomb, each second dragging her deeper into the unknown. She stole a glance at her mother, whose eyes were fixed on the swirling darkness, a mixture of fear and fierce determination etched into her face. "Mom!" Lily panted, "Stay close." "I am," she called back, but Lily noticed her mother lagging. A surge of protectiveness washed over her, tightening her chest. They ducked behind an old oak, the trunk gnarled and strong, providing temporary shelter. They couldn't stay long. The men were still close, their voices rising above the rustle of wind through the leaves. "Where are you?" The men sounded frustrated now, their footsteps creating a suspenseful rhythm. "Lily, we need to go now," Zoe hissed, her eyes wide with panic. Taking a deep breath, Lily focused. She recalled her mother's words about being not just prey but strategists. "Okay, listen. I have an idea." Zoe and her mother leaned in. "We'll split to confuse them. Mom, you take the left side of the park, and Zoe, you go right. I'll create a distraction." "Are you crazy?" Zoe gasped, horror lighting her face. "Lily, no! We can't split up," her mother protested, fear darkening her gaze. "It's the only way we have a chance," Lily insisted, her voice steady now. "Trust me. I can make noise, throw something, anything. They want to know which way to go." Her mother shook her head, stubborn worry etched deeply on her features. "I can't lose you," she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. "You want tea?" Lily reached out, gripping her mother's hand. "We'll find each other again when this is all over. I promise." With a determined nod, her mother reluctantly released her hand. Zoe bit her lip, uncertainty shimmering in her eyes. But seeing Lily's resolve, she finally nodded. "Okay, but be careful. On 3 then." Lily took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. They burst into action, Lily darting left away from her friends. The gravel crunched beneath her shoes as she risked a quick glance behind her. Zoe and her mother had separated, sprinting in different directions while the men were still focused on the shadows cast by the trees. With a pounding heart, Lily spotted a pile of rocks near the park's edge. She quickly grabbed one, hefting it in her hand as she moved behind another tree. "Over here!" she shouted, her voice ringing out, filled with defiance. The men halted, their heads snapping toward her voice. "There she is!" one shouted, starting to move. Lily took off, throwing the rock to her right. It hit the ground with a thud, drawing their attention. She felt a rush of adrenaline, her plan working. But as the seconds ticked away, concern threatened to creep in. Had she made the right choice? Were Zoe and her mother safe? She glanced back to check, but the sounds of their pursuers were growing louder. A flicker of panic surged through her. Suddenly, Lily felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they would find a way to outwit their captors together. But could they really trust their instincts against this uncertainty lurking in the dark? As they weaved through the trees, shadows closing in around them, one final thought burned bright in Lily's mind. What would it take for them to break free completely from fear, from danger, from everything trying to tear them apart? Fate had its grip on them all, and soon, it would reveal whether they were strong enough to escape its hold, or whether their courage would lead them down a path of no return. Lily sprinted deeper into the shadows, her breath coming in quick gasps. Each thud of her heartbeat echoed in her ears, drowning out everything else. She darted around another tree, the rough bark scraping her palm as she steadied herself. The voices behind her were getting closer, sharper, like knives slicing through the darkness. "Keep your eyes peeled," one of the men shouted, his voice a cold whip crack in the stillness. The other muttered something sinister that made chills run down her spine. She couldn't let fear take her over, not now. This was a race against time, and every second counted. She had to trust that Zoe and her mom were safe. Desperate for a plan, she searched her surroundings. The trees loomed like ancient sentinels, listening to her thoughts, lending her courage. Could she lure them further away? She clutched another rock, readying herself to make another sound. "Hey! Over here!" She hollered again, forcing her voice to sound confident and defiant. The men turned abruptly, their eyes narrowing. The tall one leaned closer, closing the distance with heavy strides. Lily hurled the rock again, this time toward an old metal trash can a few yards away. It clanged into the side, making a noise that rang sharply in the quiet night. "Got you now!" the lean man shouted, a cruel laugh seeping into his words. Lily didn't wait to see their reactions. She bolted farther into the park, her legs pumping furiously as adrenaline coated her veins like fire. She had done it before, she could do it again. They'd underestimate her, just like everyone always did. But as she ran, the weight of her choices pressed heavy on her. What was happening to her mom? Was Zoe safe? Guilt crept in, gnawing at her resolve. Just then, she spotted a set of old playground equipment hidden under a canopy of leaves. The slide stood tall, a beacon in the dark. It wasn't safe, but it felt like an opportunity, a last-ditch effort. Lily ducked behind the slide, peeking out into the open. She couldn't see the men yet, and for a moment, it felt as if time stood still. She closed her eyes, imagining her mom's reassuring voice. "You're strong, Lily. Just trust yourself." Taking a deep breath, she prepared to scramble up the ladder to gain a higher vantage point. But as she climbed, a flash of movement caught her eye. The tall figure was nearby, his shadow creeping closer, hand outstretched. Panic set in. She had to act fast. At the summit of the slide, she looked around and spotted a thick branch. With trembling hands, she grabbed it, gripping it as tightly as she could. "Adrenaline's a powerful thing, isn't it?" she whispered to herself. The man was almost below her now. Instead of swinging down the branch, she took a step back and pushed off the top of the slide, coming down hard on the ground with a roll to break her fall and gain momentum. She could hear the astonished shout of the man as she dashed toward the thicket of bushes ahead, yet in her rush, she didn't see the roots snaking out from the dirt. She tripped hard, falling forward, the air rushing out of her lungs. Fear clawed at her heart as she quickly scrambled up. She could be caught, they were already hunting her. "Mom! Zoe!" she screamed, the sound echoing off the trees, uncertain if she was heard. Every muscle in her body ached, but she pressed on. Then, from the corner of her eye, she saw movement again. Was it Zoe? Or her mom? Her heart raced. What was happening? Just as she was about to call out again, a rustling noise emerged from the bushes on the right side. Someone moved closer. In that frozen moment, all she could do was hope against hope that it was her family. The darkness enveloped her, and she held her breath, not knowing what lay ahead. Would this be a reunion? Or an ambush? The darkness thickened around Lily, but the tension broke like a wave as she caught sight of familiar faces through the shadows. It was her mother and Zoe, emerging from the thicket, eyes wide with relief and fear. "Lily!" her mother called, rushing forward, arms stretching out as if to wrap her in safety. Warmth flooded over Lily, but she quickly glanced back toward the direction the men had pursued her. "They're coming! We have to move!" Zoe, catching her breath, nodded. "We can't stick around." "What's the plan?" Lily's heart raced as she felt their collective urgency. "Head for the trees again. If we can split up, we might confuse them. Let us go. Her mom's voice was firm, determination woven into the panic. The trio took off into the darkness, hearts pounding in rhythm, driven by instinct and the desperate will to survive. They maneuvered through the trees, weaving a path laden with fear yet lit with hope. Each rustle in the underbrush elicited a chill down their spines, but they pressed on, sticking close, fueled by the need to protect one another. Rounding a giant oak, Lily felt emboldened, her spirit rising. "Mom, we found something," she panted as they paused to catch their breath. "Papers, confidential ones. You're really in danger. We need to figure this out." Her mother's expression grew stern. "What do you mean? What did you find?" Lily fished the documents from under her shirt, holding them out toward her mother. These names, they were planning something serious. Zoe stabilized her breathing, glancing nervously over her shoulder. "They're after these, right? Whoever they are? It's bigger than just us." "Exactly." Her mother took a deep breath, scanning the dark woods as if searching for shadows. "We need to get to the police. They can help us." "No!" Lily interrupted, fear surging anew. "What if they're in on it? I don't trust anyone." Her mom's eyes softened, recognizing Lily's fear and resolve. "Then we have to figure it out ourselves." A thawing embers of agreement sparked between them. "Together," Zoe echoed, her voice calming. "Yes. We can use the information we have." Lily's voice surged with newfound energy. "Let us head toward the old factory by the river. If we can intercept their plans and gather more intel without them knowing, that might buy us time." "Okay. Let us do it," her mother agreed, brimming with faith in her daughter's instinct. They set off again, the river's rhythmic flow in the distance guiding them like a beacon. Every step felt like a step toward reclaiming their lives, every ounce of fear shifted into an electric determination. The night air felt alive as their adrenaline pumped, fusing fear and courage into a nearly tangible force. "Stay focused. We don't separate again," her mother warned, taking point as they neared the factory's outline. "Right," Lily responded, her eyes focused as they approached the rusted gates, poised for the next stage of their unfolding saga. The factory loomed like a ghost, whispering secrets of a past life within its crumbling walls. Once inside, they tread carefully, avoiding creaking floorboards, moving deeper into the darkness. "There might be something we can use, computers, anything that can help connect the dots," Lily suggested. As they explored the dim interior, they stumbled upon an office, half hidden beneath a thick layer of dust. Screens flickered dimly, illuminating the grim atmosphere around them. "Look!" Zoe pointed excitedly. Flipping through papers strewn about, they found maps, phone numbers, and what looked frighteningly like communication logs linked to the threats they had uncovered. "This is it," Lily breathed, looking up at her mom, and the fierce resolve in her eyes mirrored her own. "This is proof." Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed behind them, heavy and deliberate. "Hide," her mother urged, pulling them behind an old filing cabinet just as the door creaked open. Peering through a crack, they could see the tall man from earlier, his face twisted with determination. "They have to be close. Check the offices." As the man drew near, Lily's heart raced. This was their moment. As soon as he stepped into the office, she turned to her mom and Zoe. "We have to trap him." With a fierce nod from both of them, they sprang into action, Lily darting out from behind the cabinet to slam the door shut, locking it. The man's eyes widened in shock as Lily quickly pulled Zoe away, and her mom moved in front of them, fists clenched, ready to defend. The man banged against the door, furious. "You think this will hold me? You're outnumbered." The girls didn't falter. In this moment, they united against the looming threat, hearts synchronized with resolve. "We're not afraid of you," Lily declared, surprising herself with how strong her voice sounded. "And we have the evidence to stop you." The man seethed, pacing like a caged beast. "You don't know what you're doing. You're in way over your heads." "We know enough," her mother replied, confidence surging through her voice. "And we won't stop until we protect our own." In that moment, Lily felt the power of their bond intertwined with courage, creating an undeniable force. They were no longer just victims. They were the narrative. The door rattled as the man growled, "Let me out, and maybe I'll let you live." Lily, with adrenaline coursing through her veins, felt a wave of determination. "No way. We'll only let you out if you promise to end this. Just let me go." "Not a chance," Lily called back defiantly. The urgency built between them as they heard additional footsteps approaching, more figures arriving. "It's now or never," her mother whispered, glancing around. They needed to make their move. With a deep breath, Lily looked at her assembled family and whispered, "Together?" The answer rang clear in her heart. "Together." Suddenly, with a rush of unity, they bolted towards the exit, aiming to find freedom and reclaim their lives. The chaos outside seemed like a storm, but within them surged an unquenchable flame. They would face whatever stood in their way head-on. Lily felt alive, not just a girl in a suburban town with wild dreams, but a warrior determined to safeguard her family. As they burst through the door, light flooded in, and the dawn was breaking in the distance, signifying the end of their perilous night and ushering in a new beginning. They would fight for justice. They would stand together. It was time to rewrite their story. Their future awaited, scarred yet whole, resilient against all adversities. And at that moment, Lily knew with every beat of her heart, they would overcome. With strength shared, they rushed into the brightening day, vowing to protect their own and seek truth. The adventure had transformed them, and together they would rise. Now it's your turn. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire and excite you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support for more thrilling content. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this incredible transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation and join the journey. Your support matters more than ever.